Welcome one, welcome all to the Yorkshire Voice podcast. We've got a stacked pod for you today with chats ranging from the theatre to unterpantse, but more on that later. My name is Johnny Holmes of the small city of Lincoln. And if you can't tell, I've had a coffee. I never drink coffee. I'm not a coffee man and I have zero tolerance of it. So if I'm bouncing off the walls, I do apologize, but that should be great for the content. And we're all here in service of the content. The first person I shall introduce to you is former actress Anna Barnes, the Anna Barnes, the real Anna Barnes. Anna, welcome. Hello. How are you? And are you looking forward to talking about underwear? Because I am.
Well, first of all, Johnny, thank you for that lovely introduction.
It's my pleasure.
In terms of the underwear, when I woke up this morning, I didn't think that I would be talking about underwear on the podcast today. However, I feel privileged to have this opportunity to share with you all today.
Absolutely. It's a surprise, but a welcome one to be sure. And we've got a Star Wars quote in already. And we've also got Thea Robinson here right in the studio. I can just about see you around the monitors. You are our Minecraft expert, which is the only title that we should refer to you as from now on. How the devil are you?
Well, I'm doing really, really great. Minecraft expert is probably going to be my job title for the rest of my life now.
It should be.
Really excited to talk to you guys about the Minecraft movie and its impact on children worldwide. Can't wait to get into it.
Great stuff. And I must say that Thea's not only a Minecraft expert, she's got plenty of conversational weaponry up her sleeves, as does Anna. So we're, as I say, stacked today. But before we slip into our underwear discussion, let's move to World Art Day. So according to the UNESCO website, World Art Day is a celebration to promote the development, diffusion and enjoyment of art. And it's today. So happy World Art Day to you all. So each year on the 15th of April, today, World Art Day celebrations help reinforce the links between artistic creations and society. And it's also an occasion to shine a light on arts education in schools and pave the way for inclusive and equitable education. Despite this, though, over the past 20 years, funding to the arts has been put on the chopping block time and time again. Since 2017, arts funding from UK arts councils has been cut by 16%, and that's according to research commissioned by Equity and carried out by the Autonomy Institute. And Anna is perfectly placed to talk about this, our very own Anna Barnes, because you were an actress and you've been looking into this, haven't you?
Yes, I don't know if Johnny mentioned today, but I was an actress.
Sorry, Anna, were you an actress?
I don't know if you heard.
You were an actress, right? Yeah.
I was
I think we should
an
mention
actress.
that at some point.
I think I'll just mention it one more time. I was an actress, everyone. However, I have been looking into this today. Well, this morning, actually, I read a BBC article saying that the number of theatre productions staged in the UK have significantly dropped by almost a third over the last 10 years because of funding cuts and rising costs, resulting in less job opportunities. This is definitely something I feel quite passionate about and is a huge reason why I'm now retraining in a different field, because of the lack of opportunities. And I feel like over the pandemic, I think everyone, because we were inside, we couldn't go out, and the one thing everyone was really missing was entertainment. It was going to the cinema, going to the theatre, going to see new films, and I think as a society we rely on entertainment a lot for our happiness, our well-being and just hobbies, and so the fact that, time and time again, I think, well, I was saying this to Johnny earlier, we all understand people who have, from the arts background. We all know it's not the be all end all. Obviously, things come first, education, the NHS, of course. However, I do think the arts is really important. It brings a lot of people happiness. And as we've seen, the job opportunities are lacking because cuts are being made. I know when I was in the industry before I left last year, it was it's such a competitive industry, especially as an actress. There's so many talented people out here in the world, and the fact that the jobs, which are hard to get in the first place, are now becoming less and less. It's not a sustainable industry to stay in.
It's not. Yeah. I feel like as a country, we're really good at it. You know, you look at some of the best exports that Britain has to offer. We're really good at entertainment. We're really good at the arts. We've got lots of creatives, and the fact that they're being stifled is such a shame. I mean, me and Anna, of course, I'm a musician. Anna was an actress, and Thea, you're wearing a David Bowie top, I've just noticed. So
Thank you so much
you're
for
into
that,
your
Sam.
arts,
I
you're
feel
into
so
your
seen.
music.
Yeah.
So I guess from your point of view as a consumer, let's say, what's your take on the fact that art seems to be consistently cut?
It's one of those things that you get really disappointed by, because like you said, art is a form of escapism for so many people, and music for me personally gets me throughout the day. I don't think I could ride public transportation in Leeds without music, you know. So I think it's really disappointing. One of the things that I want to ask you guys, that now that you're making that transition from doing it professionally, having it shift in priority, does that kind of rejuvenate your love for the arts?
We were talking about this earlier, weren't we? So yes, absolutely. So I studied music at undergraduate, and you know, now sort of retraining as a journalist, I've found that it becomes a hobby again, and you can fall back in love with it again, and there's no pressure on it to be your main earner. There's no pressure on it to bring you income. So you can just do it for the love of it, which is why you should do it anyway, you know, because you don't want it to become a chore. You want to really stay in love with it. And I think I've been able to fall back in love with making music, writing songs, and there's sort of less pressure, and it's easier to be creative when you're not sort of being hounded or expected to, you know, churn stuff out. So I would say definitely, and I'm guessing it would be the same for you, Anna, as well.
Yeah, I mean, musical theatre has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember, since I was about 5 years old. And so I always grew up, and it was my whole life. I loved it. It was my passion. It was what I wanted to do. But as you get older and you kind of realize, you know, there are things that you don't think about as a child, like bills, rent, just
they exist,
pensions.
don't they?
You know, at 18 years old, when I went to drama school in Guildford, I wasn't thinking, oh, I should start thinking about my pension. You know, now that I'm nearly 28 on Thursday,
happy birthday, by the way. Happy birthday.
You start thinking about these things and how important they are. And, you know, unfortunately, as much as I loved the industry and I love musical theatre, and I still do, and I always will, it just wasn't sustainable. And I think because of the stress and the pressure of having to get a job and everything, I just lost the love for it, to be honest. And I feel like now that I've kind of taken the pressure off, and it's now a hobby again, and I'm now doing a journalism master's, I enjoy it so much more. Like, I find myself listening to a musical soundtrack and I love it, and it doesn't fill me with dread, because I'm not like, oh God, I need to get an audition for this. And it's just finding that love again has been really healing. I know it sounds really cringe, but
no, thank you for being
right.
so honest about that. I feel like from the consumer side, we don't really get to see the real human experiences that artists have to go through. And I feel like so many of us are surrounded by mainstream artists, and they're like millionaires, and they go out to party, and Coachella is happening this weekend. So a lot of us are just kind of consuming this idea of like, oh, well, you have it so easy. You get to do your dream job. And for so many regular people who have dreams of the arts, they don't get to do that full time. So thank you, Anna and Johnny, for being so.
Do you have a creative outlet, Thea?
Thank you so much. So I really love podcasting. I think podcasting can be a really creative.
We're doing it
element.
Right now.
I know, guys.
This is your dream scenario.
And we're not getting paid for it. That's the best part.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a hobby. It's the passion. We do it for the love of the game.
Exactly.
You know?
But that is what it is, right? Being a journalist, you focus so much on straight news, and it can get really depressing and, like, you know, downtrodden sometimes. So podcasting, especially during the pandemic, actually was a really fun way for me and my family and my friends to get together and kind of just have that shared moment of, you know, talking about like the latest pop culture news or anything that intrigued us in the moment. And whenever I uploaded it, I never thought about making money off of it. I literally uploaded to SoundCloud for free. I spent hours and days editing it. But like you said, it's a love for the game, because at the end of the day, getting to hear those recordings back and even having like a folder of like my cousin's most quotable moments.
Nice.
There's so much meaning that's involved in making art. And I guess it kind of like leads us to like the next part of this whole thing. When it comes to like making art and getting to showcase that, one of the elements is that you get to incorporate history, right?
What a link, by the way.
What
Have you done this before? Do you know what you're doing?
Dude, I'm kind of like an expert. You know what? The Minecraft expert will do it. I'm a podcast expert now.
Yeah, you've upgraded.
So tell me a little bit more about how history is being fused with the arts in Leeds.
Yeah. Wow. Well, after that beautiful link, I mean, Well, moving on, today marks 113 years since the sinking of the Titanic. I'm sure that's something that everyone has heard about. But however, the Leeds Royal Armouries is hosting an exhibition to commemorate the day. Our reporter Holly Hughes tells us how one Yorkshireman aboard the ship made his mark on this historic event.
The story goes that in the fateful early hours of the 15th of April 1912, the band of the Titanic played on until the ship's last moments. But did you know that the leader of this famous band lived and worked in West Yorkshire? Wallace Hartley began his career as a violinist in Huddersfield and played in Roundhay Park and Collinson's Orient Cafe, which is now the Cut and Craft in Leeds city centre. And now Leeds Royal Armouries is hosting a large-scale Titanic exhibition. Amongst an array of artefacts from the ship, Hartley's sheet music will be on display, celebrating one Yorkshireman's mark on history.
The wreckage and story of the Titanic is this ongoing, complex, fascinating mystery that some people have built their lives and careers around. So, Johnny, you were telling me earlier about this YouTube video that made you giggle.
Yes, it did. I mean, people are really into it. I find it fascinating. I find it very interesting. But some people really do get stuck in and really kind of base a career around sort of reconstructing how it happened. And I think there are people whose job titles are Titanic expert. And there was one YouTube video that I saw where they were sort of piecing together moment by moment what happened. And of course, it was a really tragic event. You know, lots of people lost their lives, and it's a genuinely serious situation. But they were getting so into it, and getting their 3D model correctly, perfect, was so consuming for them that when it broke in half and was sinking, and it's quite harrowing scene, they were high-fiving, going, yes, that's perfect, that's exactly what we wanted. And at the end, when it all just like crashes to smithereens at the bottom of the ocean floor, one guy goes, bada bing, bada boom, that's exactly what we're looking for. And I really enjoyed that line. I've clipped it up and I use it often in conversation because I'm so entertaining like that. But yeah, that did make me giggle a bit.
Well, at least when you say it next time, I'll know the
reference.
law. I know the law
Yeah.
now. I feel like we've said the word expert a lot. This thing.
Well, that's what we are.
We
We're
are.
experts. Yeah.
And maybe, Thea, you can add Titanic expert to your list of other
I'm actually terrified of
expertise.
big boats, but yeah, definitely.
Perfectly qualified for the job.
Well, on the note of being an expert, let's go to our Minecraft expert,
Yes.
Thea, who is about to break out her diamond pickaxe and go on the hunt for some rare materials.
It's like I know that we're on camera, so I keep on like wanting to like make movements. So if you were listening yesterday, you will have heard us briefly discuss the hype and chaos surrounding the Minecraft movie. There's been much commotion surrounding the blockbuster, with employees noting disruptions at showings throughout Yorkshire. Regardless, it's currently the highest grossing film of the year, and we wanted to know if the film warranted the hype. So we went to our reporter, Adonis, who went out to get some first thoughts about the hit from excited cinema goers. And don't worry, we have their parents' permission.
Yeah, it was good. Probably should ask my kids. They probably the ones that I watched it for.
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Hiya, did you like the Minecraft movie?
Yeah, it's better than Lion King.
Better than liking?
Yeah,
And what about the chicken jockey moment?
those ones were good.
Amazing. What did you think? Do you like it?
Oh, yeah.
For me, it was so maybe my son more excited.
What did you think of the movie, man?
It was alright. I liked it.
And what about the chicken jockey moment? Was that funny?
Yeah, I saw it all over the news.
How was it in the cinema?
It was calm, but it was nice.
Just asking your opinion on the Minecraft movie.
Oh, very good. Action-packed.
What was your favourite bit?
Probably when they got in, like, the wooden mansion.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah.
And what did you think of the chicken jockey moment?
Chicken jockey.
Good atmosphere. Yeah.
Wasn't what we expected, was it?
No.
There's a lot of hype about nothing.
So you'll notice a phrase that's commonly repeated throughout that kind of Vox Pox moment. But before I get into it, I know that I'm the Minecraft expert, but if we want a real expert's opinion on how good the Minecraft movie was, we have to go to the source. So in the studio, we have two Minecraft cinema goers. Could you guys introduce yourselves really quick for the audience?
My name is Arthur Singh Madison. And my name is Amelia.
This is nice to meet you guys, Amelia and Arthur. So could you guys tell me, what was your reaction to the Minecraft movie?
I think it was like really good, and it just made me happy watching it.
That's what you want from the movies, man.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Do you have any favorite moments from the movie that you can remember right now? No pressure.
Yes.
Yeah. What was your favorite movie? What was your favorite moment?
My favorite moment was when everyone thought the dustbin man was dead when he was but then he actually came back alive.
Spoiler alert.
Wow.
I'm so sorry, guys, for put a spoiler alert on that one. So do you guys play Minecraft, right?
Yeah.
What in the world is a chicken jockey? Could you tell me?
Chicken jockey is a zombie on a chicken.
Of course it is. What
Yes.
else would it be?
Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm a Minecraft expert. I knew this.
So what is the chicken jockey moment then that everyone's talking about?
Where I think it was the dustbin man and the chicken, and then the chicken jockey was in the boxing net, and then he was beating not the dustbin man, but then the dustbin man survived, knocked him out of the world probably.
Wow. I need to see this film. I need to get these references.
Okay, so for anyone that hasn't played Minecraft, a chicken jockey is extremely rare to come across because it involves a baby zombie riding a chicken, and zombies only spawn at night, right?
Yeah.
And to have a baby zombie spawn is already rare, but to have it ride a chicken, have you guys ever seen that while playing the game?
I've seen it on survival, but you can actually get zombies in a cave. So if you're lucky, you might find one in a cave at daytime.
Oh, okay. We have an insider knowledge about it. Thank you so much, guys. So, you guys, have you ever played Minecraft?
I have. When I was younger, I really enjoyed it. I found it really therapeutic. I think the music is beautiful, like this kind of piano synth-led stuff. And yeah, I just found the escapism really, really lovely. And playing with your mates as well, and just trying to sabotage other people was probably my favorite part of it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I haven't played it in a long time though, and I think the game, it constantly updates, it constantly changes. So Chicken Jockey, I'd never heard of that. I think I was, off the bandwagon by that point. Anna?
I've never personally played Minecraft. However, over the pandemic, I worked at a special needs school, and the kids loved that game. They could not get enough. They'll go on about it all the time. But I've heard great things about it. You were saying it's very therapeutic. Yeah. It's a way to just switch off, which I think, it's quite nice to have a place where you can just switch off, escape, and
give it a go.
I might have to try it. Yeah.
Exactly. I've heard that it's an amazing creative outlet as well. Okay, Amelia, I'm going to bother you guys with one more question. So what do you guys love the most about playing Minecraft?
I love most about the sculptures, like making sculptures. And sometimes I actually make sculptures and then if it's like actual things, like one arm is a building and the other arm is a house.
Wow. Creative outlet.
What do you like to do, Amelia?
My favorite thing to do in Minecraft is make all the big mansions that I wish I had in real life.
Ooh.
I like build all my dream houses in it.
That's a good idea. You could be an architect after like building all those houses in Minecraft. That's really, really cool. Well, thank you guys so much. You were wonderful.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so switching over to Anna. Tell me about Harry Potter.
Yeah, well, moving across now to Hogwarts, some of the adult cast have been announced in the new upcoming Harry Potter TV series. It's been confirmed that John Lithgow will play Dumbledore, Janet McTeer as Professor McGonagall, Papa Essiedu will play Severus Snape, and Nick Frost will portray Hagrid. Guys, what are your thoughts about the new Harry Potter series?
I'm not having it, personally.
Could I be honest real quick with you guys? I have never seen a single
Get out.
movie. I know.
So you're not a Harry Potter expert. That's one thing.
That's the one thing I'm not an expert in. No. But could you guys tell me why make a series? But there's so many movies already.
Yeah,
Is
I don't
there
get
any
it.
point in it?
I don't think so.
Well, I only learned today that it's a TV series because I thought they were recreating the films. And first of all, I don't think it's a good idea. I'm like, just leave them alone. Don't touch them. They're great as they are, I think. And as me and Johnny were saying earlier, it's not been long enough, like not enough time has passed to recreate all these films. So I don't think it's a good idea. However, it's a TV series. So apparently one book will be a series each. Right. So it means that they can put more detail in, because in the books they have all the details. However, in the films they had to miss out a lot, obviously, to make sure that they can fit everything in and it's in a reasonable amount of time. But I don't know. I personally, I don't think they should do it. I think they should just leave it alone. Let it
Yeah,
be.
I can't get on board with it, to be honest. I think it's because the films are so recent and so iconic and so etched into popular culture that how could you imagine Severus Snape as anyone other than Alan Rickman, Harry Potter as anyone other than Daniel Radcliffe? It's seared into your brain. And I think maybe if they were done in the 80s and maybe they didn't have as much of a cultural footprint, possibly I'd accept it. But I don't accept it, Thea. I do not accept it. And will I watch it? Yes, I will. So you know what? They'll make money. I can see why that. Well, I can't see why they've done it. But also, if it's a financial thing, they've got to make that bag, haven't they? And
Johnny,
they will.
I'm worried. You're spineless. What the hell?
I know.
What's happening?
I should boycott it, shouldn't I? Really?
But that's why they've done it, because they know people will watch it.
Yeah.
I will be watching as well.
Exactly. It's a bad idea. Why they're doing it? Got to watch it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Well, moving on to
this is the one we've been waiting for.
This is the big question.
The big story of the pod.
Story.
Trigger warning. Gross.
I'll let Johnny take this one.
Yes, the floor is mine to talk about laundry and underpants. Let's go. This is my expert area. This is my area of expertise. So new research suggests that adults in the UK spend over 5,000 hours doing their washing over the course of a lifetime. Many of us apparently tried to swerve it, though, as Stevie Shillinglaw, what a name that is going to report for us now.
When was the last time you washed your bed sheets? And just how often are you supposed to wash your jeans? New research has revealed the laundry habits of British consumers. It seems nearly half of 25 to 34-year-olds avoid using the washing machine for fear of fading their favourite items, while half of men admit to wearing the same underwear 2 days in a row, compared to 1 in 4 women. And those aged 16 to 24 try to avoid it altogether, with over half saying it's done by their parents.
Wow.
We needed to get some reaction on this, didn't we? We needed to get some responses. So what did we do? Well, we hosted a focus group to see what some students thought of the results. We asked them how often they wash clothes, how often they wash their jeans, their bed sheets, and the big one, would they wear pants 2 days in a row?
Well, I've just moved into a new flat and I've got a new washing machine, and literally last night it got to 7 p.m. and I thought I can put a wash on, it'll take an hour and a half and then I can still go to bed on time. I accidentally put it on a setting, so it took 3 hours and everything still came out sopping wet. So this morning I didn't have fresh towels to use. So after that happening to me, I'm not sure that I would want to be putting on washers all the time because it just takes far too long.
Well, I think a lot of people in this day and age are quite lazy. I think people are scared of independence, especially if they're living at home. They just, they don't want to do the task themselves. If they can just get their parents to do it, they're just kind of abdicating that responsibility.
Yeah, some people could avoid doing their laundry, obviously, because some people, for example, I live in a house with 6 people and we've only got 1 washing machine. So sometimes it's quite difficult to do my laundry on time because there's 6 people for 1 washing machine. Say if I want to do it, I always try and do it on Fridays, but then everyone's scrambling for it. So sometimes you just have to put it off and leave it for a few days. So you might have to reuse some clothes.
I wash my bed sheets probably every 3 weeks because it's just me. You know what I mean? I'm not a particularly dirty person. So I think they stay fairly clean. And I wouldn't say it's the same as your clothes. So every 3 weeks, I think is enough for me. And I don't feel unhygienic for doing that.
See, in an ideal world, my bed sheets would get washed every 2 weeks, but unfortunately, it's sometimes runs on a bit, maybe every 3 weeks, maybe once a month. It's quite a big task though in itself. If you're kind of loading up a washing machine, lots of bulky sheets and whatnot. So sometimes you'd like to put it off a little bit.
I'd say I aim for round cleaning every 3-4 weeks, but sometimes it doesn't happen because I'll forget or I'll be lazy. But, as long as I feel like it's clean and I'm sleeping in it and it's fine, I tend not to worry about it for a couple of weeks.
Well, I have heard that you're not really supposed to wash denim. So if I'm being completely honest, the most I'll wash my jeans is every 5 months, which sounds awful. But literally the other week, I decided to wash my jeans that I haven't washed for ages. And they came out with a rip in them, which wasn't there before. And they have also gotten much lighter and also tighter in weird places. And all that's done for me really is prove that I'm right not to wash them frequently.
So I've got to echo Holly's opinion there. I'm a staunch non-washer of jeans. I'm currently wearing jeans. I've had them probably like 3, 4, 5 months, and they have never seen the inside of a washing machine. Unless there's maybe like an obvious stain somewhere. For me, I think I like to kind of wear jeans. If you don't wash them, they can mold to your legs. Really, I take on your shape. So I will not be coerced into washing my jeans.
Generally speaking, for feminine hygiene, as a woman, I do recognise it's important to wear a fresh pair of underwear every day. So I will do that. The only exception is if I'm on my period, and I think a lot of women will admit to this. If you're wearing a pad or something like that, it's not the same as wearing nothing. So in that circumstance, I would probably wear the same pair more than one day in a row. But any other time, I think it's unhygienic, unfortunately, to wear the same pair.
I own many pairs of pants. I mean, I'm never really in a situation where I would need to wear the same pair 2 days in a row just because you've got multiple pairs and you're regularly doing your washing. It's fine. You can wear one a day. That's okay. I mean, in a pinch, I have worn the same pair of pants 2 days in a row with like an inside out job, and then it kind of counts as a fresh pair if you think about it like that. But I think for the most part, one a day, just be sensible.
Yeah, I probably agree. I think I have enough pairs to the point where I don't really need to reuse them, so I can just keep washing them. But have I got lazy on maybe an off day if I was going to have like a lazy day in? Probably, but I think everyone would roughly agree with that.
Now, I've seen some big reactions to a lot of the statements being made here. My first takeaway is, what? No, all girls do not do that. But I can definitely understand if you create that separation. But when I'm on my period, I feel the grossest that I'm ever gonna feel. So I'm showering twice a day and doing the most. So guys, when it comes down to it, is it okay to not wash your bed sheets for more than 3 weeks?
Oh, I'm rubbish with this. I was good. I got back from the Easter holidays and I changed them. But I have gone many months before without doing it, which is not good, I would suggest.
I don't think that
and yet, did I do it? Yes, I did. And I think, as was referenced in our focus group there, I think it's just because it's a bit of a job. And it takes work and effort. And do I have that effort? Often, no. What about you, Anna?
I aim for at least once a month, being realistic. I mean, I would like to say, every 2 weeks, but that's lying. I don't. Every month I try and aim for. I mean, it's just me, in the bed, and I think I'm relatively clean, and I always shower
That's
before,
what they all say.
That's what they all say.
I always shower before bed, so I think I'm a clean person. Obviously, if I can tell it's overdue, of course I'll do it, but I try and aim for once a month. But it's especially in the colder months, it's such an ordeal having to wash all your sheets and dry them all out, and then it's such a task. However, when the weather's nice, you can put it all outside, let it all get the fresh air to it. So yeah, usually about once a month. What about you, Thea?
Oh, when you said put it outside, I was thinking of that one song, Let It All Hang Out, that kind of thing. But for me, I usually use sheets that have some form of white in it. So if I start to see a dirt stain, or if I ate something in my bed, I hate the sight of dirt. So I always change it. I try to go for every 2 weeks, but that's because I have a washer at home. I only have one other roommate. It's really convenient for me to just throw the sheet itself. What I can't agree with is the comforter. So I wear a really, really big blanket when I go to bed. I do not wash that nearly as often as I wash the sheets under it. And I think that's a bit hypocritical. Maybe I'm a bit too harsh on the people who take a little longer to wash their sheets. So when it comes down to underwear, I feel like we all agree. you should not be flipping it inside out and wearing it a second time. Do we?
Well, no, I just say I think you'd be surprised.
I somewhat controversially, and I said this morning to a large group of people, to our news team, and I got some dirty looks, let's say, but I'm glad that Will and Eric actually in that focus group referenced this, is the fact that I'm gonna be honest with you now, and I'm gonna give you probably too much information.
Wow.
Is that
this is a safe space?
This is a safe space. It's not like anyone's listening to this, apart from all the people that are listening to this right now.
Yeah.
If there is a situation whereby, let's say it's a Sunday, and I'm not doing anything, and I've not got to see anyone, so no one's going to be smelling me, no one's going to be having to deal with my sweatiness, I will, if I've not showered, Why would I put a new pair of pants on? Because I'm just getting another pair of pants dirty. I could save that pair of pants, just use the ones from yesterday. No one's got to know about it, apart from people that will now know about it because I'm saying it on a podcast.
Yeah.
You know, do you know what I mean? It just seems it's more efficient to do it that way, is it not? No, that's a face of no that I'm seeing.
Are you saying that you're gonna like shower and then put back on the same pair, or are
No.
you just like overlapping the day?
Overlapping the day.
Are you
Okay.
If
I can kind of.
Are you taking them off and then putting them back on? You
I'm
may as
not-
well just leave them on.
I'll take them off I can't sleep in them.
Okay,
that's outrageous.
Now we're reaching TMI territory.
How could you do that? But no, yeah, whack them back on the next day because you've not had a shower. There's no need to put a fresh pair on. But if I shower, if I've got somewhere to be, let's say someone calls you and said, let's go to the pub, you know, I'm in the shower, I'm whacking on a new pair of pants, you know, I'm not an idiot. Of course I'll do that. But I think you disagree with me, don't you?
A little bit. I understand like a lazy Sunday if you like overlap and it's like you kept on the same underwear. Fine. I don't believe in putting back on the same underwear after you've showered though.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
But I don't think if I was wearing the same underwear, I don't think I would take them off to then put them back on. I would just keep them on. Like
while sleeping?
No, I don't wear TMI. I don't wear pants to go to sleep. I just let it all breathe.
I love the honesty. That's great.
But I wouldn't then wake up the next day, regardless of showering, and then put on the same pair of dirty pants. I wouldn't do that. I think I would just I'd have a shower and put on a new pair. I mean, I've definitely been in that situation where you don't have pants to hand.
You go to a party, you stay over, you know.
But that's not by choice. But if I'm at home and I've got a shower and a full drawer of clean pants, I'm gonna put on the clean pants.
It's got to be efficient though. You can't waste that. Every pair of clean pants is a vital thing to have. It's a moment.
I have a system. The minute that I go to the shower, the pants are off and they're in the basket. Also, if you couldn't tell from my accent, I don't call them pants. It's like underwear. So every time I hear pants,
is it trousers? You think of trousers?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a cultural disconnect. But also I think that another bridge that we need to gap in this conversation is that it isn't always going to be, you know, a thing of hygiene and personal hygiene, that a lot of other, you know, elements come to play. I love the mention of the fact of having like multiple roommates and having a shared space, and all of these utilities have to, you know, get divided up and you have to make certain sacrifices.
Sometimes life gets in the way of washing your underwear. And if we take anything away from today's podcast, I think it should be that.
Exactly. So are we ready to wrap it up?
I think we're ready to wrap it up. It's been a beautiful conversation. We've gone from the Titanic to the theatre to underpants, and I think Minecraft. I think we've covered all the important things that one could cover in a podcast. Thank you both. This has been an absolute honor and a privilege. Thank you to all our listeners, and you can join us again for tomorrow's Yorkshire Voice podcast. Thank you to Anna. Thank you to Thea. I've been Johnny. This has been the Yorkshire Voice pod. See you next time.